So what are my thoughts on, at least for the foreseeable future, Sum 41's final album, Heaven and Hell? What's going on, ladies and gents in Cyberland? Coming back to you with another album review. Sum 41's Heaven and Hell, or Heaven X Hell. I don't know how it's said. I just say Heaven and Hell. So at some point, Derek announced that they were working on a double album, and it was going to be called Heaven and X Hell. But he said this is going to be their final album that they're breaking up. And at the time, I was just kind of like, why are you guys breaking up? And Derek said, he doesn't feel like he has any more to give he's done all he feel he needs to do with the band and all this kind of stuff. But not to go on a side note, but personally, I don't think that's what it is. I think Derek is having some serious health problems, because dude went into, I think he had a stroke or a cardiac arrest a couple, last year before the album dropped, and he had already been hospitalized for alcohol poisoning years before that. I think Derek has some serious health problems, and again, I'm no doctor, I don't know anybody in the band, I'm just looking outward in and just looking at certain situations that have happened. And I personally believe, instead of putting emphasis on that as a cause, I think Derek is just literally, for right now, they're going to tour off the album, they're going to promote the album so everybody's financially good for a while, and I think he's going to take a break. I don't think Derek is going to... I would be completely shocked if Derek ends up being a frontman for somebody else's band, or he ends up going solo, or anything like that. I would be completely surprised. And then I would be like, damn, so were you guys... What was your contract, and that's why you did this? Or you guys were pretty much became enemies or some shit? Like, all this friction in the band, y'all just... And I would be shocked if it's that. I don't think it's that. I think Derek's just has some serious health problems, and I think to give him time to recuperate, to get his health back in order, and not die on stage or die in his sleep while on tour, or the last day of the tour they go home and he dies, or just he expiring way before his time. I think that's what's going on, and I think for the time being, the band is going to be done. They're not going to record. They're not going to tour. They're just going to take a huge break. That could be anywhere from a year to 5 years. I just think until Derek can get his health back in order to where he can perform and not jeopardize himself or put strain on the other members, I think they're just going to take a huge break, and they just said we're disbanding, and that's it. But I really don't think they're going to stay disbanded for a long time. I just think it's going to be, it's going to be a couple years. That's what I wholeheartedly believe. Could be wrong. It could be this is it, and they're not making any more music under this moniker. But I really think, I think Derek is still going to write. He's just going to write stuff when he feels like writing, and then when the time comes, he'll get everybody back together, and they'll make another album and they'll tour. I just think it's going to be a while, but I could be wrong. This could be it. But for needless to say, let's get into the album review. So when Landmines dropped, because he said that Heaven was going to be like the punk rock album, more like the old school stuff, and then Hell was going to be more like Chuck, more like the heavy metal, the metal type of music. And I have to say, when Landmines dropped, I was like, okay, this is cool. It's not like... It's cool. it's an introduction to the new album. I was cool with it. I wasn't like excited or anything, but I was just like, I know the album's going to be good. I have, you know, at this point, I'm a fan of Sum 41. I have their albums. I listen to them. I was just like, okay, I know this is going to be a good album. I'm not at this point going to be like, I don't know. I was like, no, it's going to be a good album. And then, you know, Waiting on a Twist of Fate dropped, and I was like, oh shit. Like, I was like, damn. Like, okay, yeah, this is gonna be good. And then it was that other, it's on the double, since it is a double album. And then I heard, and I didn't know this, but Rise Up. I heard Rise Up, and I was just like, yeah, this is gonna be great. So, you know, the album drops, and I acquire it. I had already ordered it, but I was just waiting for the album to show up in my house. And I was very happy with what I heard. It was a great blend. I would almost say this album reminded me of Chuck, but more so in the way of there wasn't friction like with how Chuck was made. It felt more cohesive. It felt more like they were bouncing ideas off of each other. It didn't feel like people were trying to force their way into the meaning to get themselves heard. It was like everybody had a spot at the table. Everybody had something to share, something they could do, something that was going to work for the album. And, nothing I didn't like on the album. I would definitely say I would rank this up at the top of their list. I kind of feel like, you know, Chuck and 13 Voices. He's definitely better than Order in Decline and Screaming Bloody Murder. I feel like it's better than Underclass Hero for sure, definitely. And I feel like, you know, yeah, but I would say Chuck and 13 Voices and Heaven and Hell would probably be, I would rank these at the higher of their work. And, you know, I just feel like, yeah, kind of how I would look at it. You know, Order in Decline, Scream Bloody Murder at the bottom. Underclass Hero probably right in the middle with All Killer No Filler Does This Look Infected. Yeah, I would kind of put it like that. Not my favorite album. It is a 10 out of 10 though. It's a great album. I love it. I do have one gripe, but I don't feel that song ruins the album. I just don't really listen to it. Painted Black. Sorry. There's only one Rolling Stones. And I just feel like if you're going to cover this, this should have been like a B-side. This should not have been on the album. I don't agree with that. It's nice. It's a nice song how they did their version of it, but nonetheless, no. Now, do I feel it hurts the album? No, but it doesn't belong on this album. It doesn't. I don't agree with bands doing covers and putting it on their albums. I always feel if you're gonna do a cover, let that be on like one of your single songs, and then you have like, you know, a B-side, and then you have a cover or something. Like Green Day's done covers, and I haven't even listened to these covers Green Day's have done, but they did it during 21st Century Breakdown. I think one was like Elvis Costello and 3 other songs. The point is, it's not on the album. I don't think artists should do that. I think if you're gonna cover songs, you either do like what Weezer did, where they did a cover album, or do like have it on your singles or something where you can go online and download it. But to put it on the official album, I don't agree with that. So, you know, it's a nice blend of punk rock and metal for sure. It doesn't let up. And how it ends on Heaven and transitions to Hell is just, it's great. And it is bittersweet because I'm just like, damn, this is such a good album. And they said like ending on a high note. I'm just like, man, I hope this ain't it. It really, you know, I mean, we've lost a lot of we've lost a lot of good musicians, and I just hope this isn't a situation where they're done in this. Because, even shit, NoFX is done. NoFX is done. And I get it, but damn, it's just like I just hope they make more material. Top 5 tracks: Waiting on a Twist of Fate, Stranger in These Times, Dopamine. Yeah, that struck a chord with me. You Wanted War, and I Don't Need Anyone. And I would just, if you're a fan, you're going to listen to it. If you're not a fan, you might check it out. But if you're a fan, you're definitely going to listen to it. Just how you would rank it, would be different on how I would rank it, So that being said, let's cue the music.